What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is Sunday over here, 4:20. I hope you guys are doing something fun, more than just looking at the charts. Maybe celebrating 420 while looking at the charts. That's also pretty cool. Now, Sundays are one of my favorite days of the week because Sunday afternoon here, Pacific Standard Time, we get a Monday candle close for the open for the markets, right? And Mondays are in my favorite days as well, right? Because the market is in full swing. Now, if you guys are new here, you guys don't know that I'm actually diving deep into the charts here so we can actually find moves before they happen because let's face it, it's a lot less riskier than chasing a pumping green candle. So if that's what you guys are into, and if that interests you, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Any questions? I will also be taking any TA requests once per day. So make sure you guys drop your favorite altcoin in the comment section below if you guys want me to see me chart it, talk about it. In my next video, I will choose one to talk about. Now let's go ahead and dive right into the charts here because Bitcoin has been doing something pretty interesting over the weekend, okay? Even though yesterday was Saturday, I don't usually expect things to really, happen on Saturdays, but I think we had some pretty interesting price action on yesterday, okay? Let's take a look into the daily time frame here. All right. So daily time frame, we ended up, going back up to about 85.5, right? We do see some weakness on the daily time frame here. However, we do have bearish divergence on the RSI. So something to be looking out for. And we are seeing that red candle play out right now. Let me turn off the heater real quick, man. It just got hot real quick. So, all right. Bearish divergence on the RSI, something to be paying attention to. Whenever you get divergence, it usually signals a move, a reversal move, right? And right now we're seeing that red candle coming from that weakness in that green candle, right? Now, we did have a ascending triangle pattern I talked about yesterday. If you guys haven't seen it, make sure to watch my yesterday's video. But we did have an ascending triangle pattern that is basically broken with this drop here. So what I am seeing right now is a symmetrical triangle pattern here, right? Which usually favors a move in the direction prior to the formation of the triangle. So the direction prior to the formation of this triangle is up, right? If we're looking at the daily time frame. So we are this usually breaks the upside because of the direction prior to the formation of the triangle. And the price target, if it actually breaks at the tip of this triangle, would be about 88.2, right? That is just textbook technical analysis, right? Now, let's see what could be going on here on the weekly time frame because the weekly candle closes in about 8 hours, right? And right now, not much, man. I mean, we're seeing a very small green candle here, right? But we are still holding that weekly 50 SMA, which is very important. That's currently still at about 77.5. The 3-day time frame still important because that double bottom pattern still playing out, right? Until we get to about 89,000. If we can actually get there and actually break out price target out of that double bottom pattern, we are still very much in it. I mean, these are 3-day candles, so it's gonna take, I don't know, weeks, maybe days, weeks. Just looking at the rate of how this bull market is playing out, right? I still think that we are in a bull market, but that's just my opinion, not financial advice, right? If we actually break out of this double bottom pattern, 104,000 price target, give or take, that is just an estimate. It's good to still get an idea, right? You could probably take profits based on that idea and, take certain profits at certain levels. towards that price target. That is just for starters, right? Now let's take a look into 12-hour time frame. We are still seeing quite a bit of shorter term moving averages beneath the price action, including the 12-hour 21 SMA. It just barely, retested that right now. Okay, so we still have quite a bit of shorter term moving averages, like including the 50 SMA on the 12-hour. So that could be coming in as support if the price action actually breaks down, right? You do have the 6-hour 50 SMA. You're currently at the 6-hour 200 SMA, right? Now that's basically what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Let's take a look into Ethereum. Something pretty interesting for Ethereum coming up here as well. Now, I did make a short on what Ethereum could be doing, right? It's actually just broken out of this falling wedge pattern since it has actually formed back in end of January. Okay, it's a very slow breakout here. Okay, but Ethereum is actually ahead of the other altcoin charts, which I will show you in just a second. But it has actually broken out of this huge downtrend here. If it can actually hold this breakout, the price target would be about 2,900, which would take you back to about the daily 200 SMA, right? Because let's face it, Ethereum has been just getting smashed. And if you compare it by moving averages, it's way behind Bitcoin right now, right? So price target 2,900 if it could actually hold those breakouts. Of course, there's always a chance that it could break back into the pattern. That is something to be charting and keeping an eye out on, right? Now let's take a look into Total 3, which is basically the altcoin market excluding Ethereum. Now, this price action has not broken out yet. It's still in a falling wedge pattern. So in that sense, it's kind of lagging behind Ethereum. But, the moving averages are a lot closer to the price action. So could Ethereum get a huge pump to catch up and, touch and retest some of those moving averages? That's a possibility, right? I mean, I'm just speculating here. So, now this is the Total 3 markets, excluding Ethereum. If it actually breaks out by tomorrow, price target is going to be over $1 trillion market cap. Now, this could do some significant moves for the smaller altcoins, even though, it is like a 50% pump on this total altcoin market cap. But, for the smaller altcoins, that could mean some pretty crazy moves, right? Now, let's see here. We are back above the daily 21 SMA, which is the blue line, right? We haven't gotten above the daily 50 SMA yet. But in my opinion, everything here depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts dumping, I don't think any of this matters, right? Let's come over here to the S&P 500, which could, it's highly correlated with Bitcoin most of the time, and it could be served as a front-running signal for Bitcoin. Okay, let's come over here to the weekly time frame, where we are still holding this bounce here, right, at about 4,800. Since we have touched down to about 4,800, that's a very important level. If you guys actually take a look into the weekly time frame here, that is basically the level where, it has been consolidating since about 2022 to 2024, and we have basically, stock market basically retested that level perfectly, okay? And we have a very strong bounce here based on the RSI that tells me if the bears were to make a lower low or an equal low, chances are you're going to get another bounce because of very possible bullish divergence, right? So let's come over here to the daily time frame, where there is a, that's a pretty clear double bottom to me right here, right? You got one bottom, two bottom, more clearly on the 12-hour time frame as well, and you're basically getting double bottom with bullish divergence. very subtle bullish divergence because one is a slightly lower low, but in my books, that is still bullish divergence with the double bottom, and you're retesting that 12-hour 21 SMA. So what does this say to me? The S&P 500 highly correlated with Bitcoin. It doesn't look like it could be dumping, in terms of probabilities. That looks like it's a pretty good setup for Bitcoin, okay? But like I said, there is bearish divergence on the daily time frame, so we could, it's still very important to be keeping an eye out on this. And if it actually breaks this symmetrical triangle pattern, that could be looking worse for Bitcoin, okay, at the moment. Now, this basically wraps up my video for today. If you guys have gotten value out of this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. I will see you guys next time and have a beautiful weekend.